Just the old 4D chess move here. I see. Now, to be fair, that was on Wednesday, so Musk had some negative tweets, but it was before everything completely went bananas and nuclear yesterday. But even the next day, that same Newsmax host was still in some form of denial and still making some pretty out there excuses.
Turns out my prediction yesterday was a little bit off. I'll be honest, this really hurts my soul, okay? I'm not even going to take a side here. These two were doing awesome things together. I'm inclined to believe that there's a bunch of people in the middle that have muddied these waters, and it's not necessarily between Trump and Elon, because there's no way these two would just randomly blow up like this.
Or maybe they would, but it's hurting that guy's soul, so remember that. I mean, that anchor wasn't alone, though, with that kind of thinking.
The civil war between Donald Trump and Elon Musk has been nonstop escalation over the past couple of days until last night when Elon Musk kind of caved, deleting a new post he made about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein after the latest Trump threat that clearly has Elon very scared. Now, Elon deleting this post could actually mean one of two things. The first, that he's terrified, or the second, that he's actually going to keep fighting more. But we are going to get into that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into this post that Elon shockingly deleted and the Trump threat that is now being made, we need a bit of context with the latest updates on the Epstein saga with Trump as it relates to Elon from Chris Hayes right here.
Was to reveal that Trump was in the Epstein files. But you knew that, right? I mean, one of the craziest things about the pro-MAGA right and their longtime obsession with the Jeffrey Epstein story is how they took a story that is about Donald Trump and Trump's administration and somehow twisted it to be a story about all of their political enemies. It's a crazy ideological contortion that got created around Epstein. This man, who was, as you see there, videotaped, hanging out and leering at women with Donald Trump. A man who, according to Trump in a 2002 interview, likes beautiful women as much as I do. Many of them are on the younger side. A man who died by suicide in a federal prison in Donald Trump's administration under the aegis of William Barr's Department of Justice. And yet Epstein's reported sex trafficking was seized on by the right wing, spun into a conspiracy theory about the perfidy of liberal politicians like Hillary Clinton and global elites like Bill Gates. Now, it took off partly because Epstein really did have this insane range of contacts with rich and influential people. But spinning Epstein's crimes into a vast left-wing conspiracy always required selective memories and crazy contortions. So much so that when Donald Trump's Department of Justice hyped up its dump of documents on the Epstein case in February, remember that? Even inviting some far-right influencers to the White House to pick up the files in great big binders before anyone else got it? Those influencers were disappointed and angered to find nothing new. Certainly no evidence to back up their outlandish theories about who Epstein consorted with and how he died. And suddenly, the same Trump officials who had once trafficked in Epstein conspiracy theories were flailing to convince the MAGA faithful that the conspiracies were wrong all along.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Thank you. So there's something so perfect about the way Musk dropped his supposed Epstein bomb on Trump yesterday. And it drove the online MAGAs crazy. And it dropped just as Trump's FBI Director Kash Patel, you just saw there, was sitting down for another interview with conspiracy-minded podcaster Joe Rogan, who's talked a lot about Epstein, which led Patel venting about how he can't please the tinfoil hat crowd.
The problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds. Why haven't you given it to us? If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period.
Right.
If I have it.
I gotta say, the vape cloud there is just... We don't have any videos. It's true. You know what we do have, though? Over a decade of shoe leather reporting and digging by real journalists of the hated mainstream media. Folks like Julie Brown, the Miami Herald. Thanks to those people who did the reporting, we know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein court files and in Epstein's address book. We also know about a sweetheart plea deal that Epstein got in 2008. A deal that let him serve just 13 months in jail and preempted a deeper probe into his victims and co-conspirators.
The hypocrisy of this whole situation is just so insane to me. And the fact that MAGA up until now has refused to just confront the fact that their dear leader, their cult leader, had such a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, such a well-documented relationship, just goes to show the cognitive dissonance that they experience on a day-to-day basis. It is insane. These people, they have broken brains, and it is really the best part of the Trump-Musk civil war, not just their breakup, but how MAGA media has to reckon with it now that they can't escape the truth and go to their echo chambers. It is being put front and center, and even more so last night when Elon made another post about Donald Trump's relationship to Jeffrey Epstein that he ultimately deleted. But we're going to get into why. Musk deletes post saying he'll apologize to Trump if the president does a full dump of the Epstein files. Elon Musk said an apology from him to Donald Trump hinges on a full dump. Many conservatives have been deeply disappointed that the Trump administration has been yet to release the files on Jeffrey Epstein. His name was back in the news this week after Musk claimed Trump's name is in those files. The accusation was part of an hours-long public brawl between the two billionaires on Thursday. Musk, who for a few months led Donald Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, fiercely opposes Trump's big, beautiful bill that is before the Senate, calling it a disgusting abomination. This week over on Truth Social on Thursday, Trump said that Musk has been wearing thin as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency and claimed Musk went crazy when the president asked him to leave the government when his term as a special government employee ended. Musk in turn said Trump should be impeached and claimed the president is in the aforementioned files. On Friday night, James Fishbach, a Doge-adjacent businessman, took issue with Musk's attack on Trump, tweeting that the Tesla CEO owes the president a full-throated apology. What's the apology for exactly? Musk replied, adding, "Be precise." Fishbach went on to recap. Musk called for impeachment in the Epstein file claim. "I will apologize profusely as soon as there is a full dump of the Epstein files," Musk said in a post that has since been deleted. Now, I take this deleted post as one of two things. It could be possibly that Elon Musk is pulling back after the latest threat from Donald Trump that we're going to check out in just a second. Or he suspects that some watered-down version of the Epstein files might be coming out, and then Donald Trump will be demanding an apology from him. So he doesn't want that in writing, which might just mean that Elon Musk has doubled down on his civil war with Donald Trump and will never be stopping until he is satisfied, which is probably never, because this is an insane person with a broken brain, and so is Donald Trump. Which is why they will continue to wage war on each other and blow up their own movement, which makes me very happy. But if it is the first option, if it's because of the threats that Donald Trump is levying against Musk, it is probably because of this one he made last night around the time the post was deleted.
What are you going to do about the Tesla? Are you going to keep it, or are you going to...
I haven't thought about it.
Do you have any plans to contact...
I mean, I hope he does well with Tesla.
Do you have any plans to speak with Mr. Musk? This was one of your closest advisors.
Yeah, no, I don't have any plans. Somebody made a mistake. A lot of reporters have been calling me. I didn't call any reporter. A lot of reporters, they asked me the same question. No, I don't. I'm not even thinking about that.
Let's bring in our panel.
Yeah, I can see how Donald Trump saying that he might take everything from Elon Musk, all of his government subsidies, might have made him snap and decide he was going to take that post down. But again, it could also mean that Elon doesn't want any contingency in which he does actually have to apologize to Donald Trump for attacking his disgraceful and abominable agenda. He's right about that. He's not right. He's agreeing with us, and we're right. Elon's just kind of, joining the party because he's mad he didn't get everything in his bill. But I'll take it. I will take the breakdown that is happening in MAGA. Unable to reckon with their two favorite cult leaders going at it. It has been so beautiful to watch. And Jen Psaki captured all of that. And I want to check it out right here.
Just the old 4D chess move here, I see. Now, to be fair, that was on Wednesday, so Musk had some negative tweets, but it was before everything completely went bananas and nuclear yesterday. But even the next day, that same Newsmax host was still in some form of denial and still making some pretty out there excuses.
Turns out my prediction yesterday was a little bit off. I'll be honest, this really hurts my soul, okay? I'm not even going to take a side here. These two were doing awesome things together. I'm inclined to believe that there's a bunch of people in the middle that have muddied these waters, and it's not necessarily between Trump and Elon, because there's no way these two would just randomly blow up like this.
Or maybe they would, but it's hurting that guy's soul, so remember that. I mean, that anchor wasn't alone, though, with that kind of thinking. Disgraced right-wing pundit Dinesh D'Souza floated the idea that the whole feud could be some sort of perverse scheme to force the release of the Epstein files. He speculated that Trump and Elon might soon break out the champagne. And at the same time, even more mainstream right-wing outlets like Fox News had takes like this.
These guys are like roommates. They were living in close quarters for like the first 6 months of the year. They're just blowing off steam. Okay. The issue is donor maintenance. This guy's the mega donor. So you don't want him accusing you of being a pedophile, and you don't want him calling for your impeachment. I hope he doesn't mean that, but maybe they can patch things up. I mean, Vance called Trump Hitler, and he's on the ticket.
The old Vance model could give everybody hope here, I guess. Okay, clearly there's a lot of takes out there, but it could also be, and this is just my theory, that Trump and Musk are two egomaniacs publicly feuding about how, and in part, about how an enormous budget bill should best benefit their personal interests. Who's to say? Look, the spectacle of this drama between two billionaires, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world, can feel a bit like a sideshow, but it is understandably hard to ignore. And there's a legitimate question about how those opposing Trump and Musk can capitalize on this feud. And I will say, Democrats did have more fun yesterday on a range of social media platforms than I think they've had in a long time. I mean, for instance, Minnesota Senator Tina Smith asked, who gets custody of J.D. Vance in the divorce? Washington Senator Patty Murray said, when I first got into politics, men would always tell me that women were too emotional to lead. Then there was Congresswoman Melanie Stansberry of New Mexico, who delivered this message to Trump and Musk from the House floor.
I know that, both you guys are having a hard time, but I just have to say, for the sake of democracy, for the sake of the American people, and frankly, for the global security and safety of people all over the planet, y'all need to cut this drama out. I mean, we need to take care of our people. So I'm with Musk on this one. I don't mean to take sides, Mr. President, but I'm going to say it. Kill the bill.
I feel like Christmas came early. This has been so amazing. And the collateral damage that is going to spread throughout MAGA media, as I've said again and again, is probably my favorite part of this. They so desperately need Elon Musk and his platform and his money to push the lies that they do. Now, I'm not saying that's going to stop. Elon probably still is very much invested in pushing his gross conspiracy theories and being the radical individual that he is, but I don't know if the support is going to be as direct, and that is a huge blow to MAGA that it makes it that much more important that Democrats, liberals, and progressives double down on our media ecosystem. We're going to be doing that on this show, and if you want to support that, as always, I'm going to hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.